pelo sangue e pela cor, fidelidade, lealdade em nome do Senhor. A minha amada, a minha família, a 9 de julho, que me mostrou a importância de eu estar no bagulho. A gente atira no escuro, não escuta ninguém. Não adianta o sermão e a tempestade que vem. Não sei se tem alguma coisa do...
Thanks to my good friend Josh Alsop, gave me a pretty good realization about the ice baths. So it's funny I didn't put the two together, but since I started doing the ice baths, started to notice my immune system was getting quite run down, which would explain all of these. Now a lot of them are gone, but I have a few more popping up, like these two and these two. So a bit of a problem for me at the moment, but I guess all I can really do is try and let the body rest a bit. So chucking in like ice baths, for example, in the routine, it's probably going to be a no-go for now. I'm going to give it a rest for a week, and hopefully we will see improvements. If we do see improvements, then this will have some implications on my schedule when it comes to ice baths, probably meaning I won't do them 3 times a week and instead maybe do them once a week or maybe once a fortnight. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this theory, I guess, is correct. But anyways, I'll keep you guys updated. We'll see how I do over the next week or so. All right, see you guys soon. Alrighty, so had a good start to the week. We've started to focus again a bit more on competition specific matters. So we kind of had a little discussion before class, and I just got everyone to kind of put in their 2 cents of, I guess, like what they found to be their biggest issues in competition. And everyone like could agree that one of the biggest issues that people wanted to address was the issue of dealing with double sleeve guards, and that's like something obviously a lot of people have trouble with. So anyway, so we spent today just looking at just one style, one approach for passing the double sleeve guard. We're eventually going to branch out a bit more and look at a few other styles. The style that we looked at today was more of that Lucas Lepri style passing posture. I find this is a really good one to start off with, because the biggest thing here is it allows you to address or rather allows you to create a base where you can actually make yourself a lot safer in the lasso guard. And I think that's like a thing, if we look at like a lot of themes in jiu-jitsu, there's like a huge aspect of like defensive related positions before going into like attacking positions. So when it comes to dealing with the lasso, I'm also looking at how can I stabilize my base, make sure that I can't get submitted. That's the first thing I'm looking at. So creating a base and positioning my body so that my opponent has very limited and lower percentage attacks. And then from there we start to look at how to become more offensive. So with this Lepri passing posture, it's kind of like, I guess like some people call it a split squat. What's more like a lunge, I guess. Very similar posture to like a knee cut basically, but your center of mass is quite low with this posture, and you're kind of alternating between, I guess, almost tripoding and going into this like split squat position. But what's it called? I have mentioned this in the past, but I found that I had a lot of success with this as a purple belt, and I think that it's just like quite a fundamental like approach to dealing with the lasso. So with this position, like you're not circling out of the lasso, you're actually like kind of keeping your opponent, or rather your opponent's going to keep you in the lasso, but the idea here is that it allows you to slowly start to unravel the foot on the bicep and start to deal with the spider guard. And then from there, especially because of the posture you're taking, it's a lot easier to stack and knee cut. So we're looking at that today. Tomorrow I think I'm gonna revise that, but I also want to give the guys a few other like perspectives for passing lasso. So some people like to squat, some people like to use that Lepri style posture, some people will stand more in like a hip hinge or a tripod. There's combat base, all this stuff. And another one that you see, which ironically has like a decent amount of success in competition, is simply just this deadlift posture. Now, it's one of those things where it's one of these solutions where it's like, all right, for me to fix this one problem, I'm basically going to create another problem. Okay, so when you deadlift from someone's double sleeve guard, you are essentially creating another problem, but in fact you're also getting rid of like a more annoying problem essentially. So there's definitely a lot of merit to it. Like I said, when you deadlift in someone's double sleeve, you're getting rid of that initial problem that the double sleeve presents of just not being able to like break the grips and clear the lasso, but you are also now getting rid of those sleeve grips. But then in turn, what's happening now is you're going to be putting yourself in a position where your opponent can attach to your lower body a lot easier. You're a bit more exposed to the back sweep, etc. So there's things that you really got to factor in with doing this move. But I'm keen to, I guess, like look into it a bit more, because I've used it a fair bit in the past. I think it's like quite a good approach. But I basically want to cover all the approaches and just give everyone the opportunity to pick what kind of approach they like the best. It's a similar thing with passing, just in general. Like a lot of people I notice will gravitate more to specific guard passes than others. So you'll get some people will like to bullfighter more, some people will like to kind of pass like I guess the best way I describe it is like leading with their lower body, if that makes sense. Like they use a lot more squatting movements. They don't hip hinge as much. They don't tripod as much. They use a lot of split squat positions. And I find like people like this will do a lot more like bullfighters, knee cuts. Whereas if you have someone that's like quite posterior chain dominant, loves to like tripod a lot, you're going to see them go for a lot more like smash passes, over-unders. And the cool thing with the around the legs passes is you can also bullfight using like this tripod posture as well. So you'll see like, you know, their own equivalent of a bullfighter, I guess. But yeah, like the idea is people will gravitate towards different passing styles and postures. So in knowing that, I just want to give people like the opportunity to play around with, you know, different postures for passing lasso. So at the end of the day, that is going to be the guard that is like the most annoying to deal with and will give people the most grief in competition. Again, I don't think it's like necessarily the most offensive guard, but it does shut down a lot of guard passes. So we want to be able to deal with this with ease. Obviously, the next thing that comes to mind as well is dealing with close guard. That's obviously something that I want us to get really good at defending, especially leading up to Pan Americans as well. I want people to feel very confident in dealing with close guard. So what this will also involve is actually getting us to improve our close guard as well, because you can build a false sense of confidence if you specific train close guard every day, but all your training partners have like, you know, really terrible close guards. You're kind of playing yourself a little bit. So it is important that you develop an ability to play the close guard so that your training partners also get good at shutting it down. But yeah, like those are going to be like the themes for the next few weeks. And I think as well what will be helpful is adding in a little bit of gi wrestling, you know, some single leg scrambles, some rear body lock work, some turtle work. I think that's going to be something of great importance for the guys, you know, especially leading up to competition. I'm actually really excited to test out some of the hybrid guard stuff. I think that the Pant and Spider hybrid it's been doing wonders for me in terms of just giving me extra opportunities when it comes to transitioning to the leg entanglements. I was very focused, like had a huge emphasis on mainly just De La Riva based guards, including the R guard, and I was relying on using De La Riva and Wader variants to put my opponent in the leg entanglement. And then obviously, like if that wasn't working, I would just default to K guard. But again, now I've got like a few more tools, and again, like I mentioned in some of the earlier vlogs, I'm very happy with the fact that I can connect the upper body guards to that. I can actually make use of all those years I've spent developing my double sleeve guard, because I've always felt that my double sleeve guard is really good in terms of control and just tying people down, but I never felt like I had the best options when it came to actually attacking from there. So, you know, I think that I guess some people that have changed my perception of that, obviously Leandro Lowe's played a huge part in that influence for me. But one thing I've also noticed as well is the guys in Florida, Kevin and Brian Mahecha. I actually competed against both of them. Competed against Brian twice and Kevin once, and they both had very strong upper body guards. But the thing that they would do very well is they would use the upper body guards to attach to make a grip to the lower body, and then put you in some kind of hybrid guard and eventually get to your legs and either sweep or create some back exposure. And if you watch like on their Instagram some of the clips they posted them competing, it's you know, they really practice what they preach in that regard. So it's, you know, so I find them super impressive. The other thing as well is like they aren't like physical specimens. They're like, you know, they obviously put in the work in that regard, but they're not like, you know, meatheads that are just like super jacked and athletic. They're actually very, very technical. So yeah, so seeing that kind of really like made me appreciate the upper body guard work and the hybrid guard work, and it, you know, got me thinking like I should be putting a bit more emphasis into that style of guard. But yeah, excited to see where that goes.